got nothing to lose. I'm gonna teach myself to play guitar and tie my shoes. I'm gonna learn to whistle soon. And someday I'll go walking on the moon. I'm gonna be brave and I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna learn to take care of myself when I'm alone. I can't think of much I can't do. And someday I'll go walking on the moon.
Welcome to Creating Cooperative Kids. I'm your host, Bill Corbett. If you knew about an easy-to-use technique for getting kids and adults to cooperate with you, would you use it? In today's show, I'll be talking about what it takes to get others to help and support you. I'll also be interviewing a couple that has adopted 5 children, and we'll be discussing what it's like to adopt. A child who's engaged in discovering all that he or she can be is more likely to be cooperative. So we'll be meeting a young woman who wrote a book for children to help them find their purpose in life. Finally, this is Teenage Dating Violence Awareness Month, and I'll be interviewing advocates from the Network Against Domestic Abuse who will help us identify the signs that our teen may be in a relationship that she needs to get out of. We'll also be discussing the dangerous trend of sexting. Join me now for today's packed show. In 1989, a book was published that was titled The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And that book brought forth a change, a shift in the way people developed relationships. And I remember it well. In fact, I was a trainer for a while. And Stephen Covey's book was very powerful. And one of the things inside the book that I will take with me wherever I go is something that he called the emotional bank account. The emotional bank account is something that exists between us and every person in our life. So if you can, it's imaginary. And it works very similar to a financial bank account. Okay? So financial bank account, how it operates, of course, is what? You make more deposits and hopefully less withdrawals, right? And what in the relationship. So the object of the game, according to what Covey told us in the 7 Habits book, we've got to look at the children in our lives, our significant others are the goose. Remember the parable about the goose that laid the golden egg that we all heard about when we were kids? See, the goose is what creates the egg. The egg is the love, the things that we need from people. So it's so important for us to take care of the goose in our life so that we can continue to get the golden eggs. And that's what takes the important thing of making more deposits and less withdrawals. If you've ever wondered what it's like to create a blended family and then adopt more children on top of that, you want to be here for the next segment coming up. See, we're going to meet a couple who did just that, and they're going to answer all of my questions about adoption. Stay with us. Through the break, we'll be right back. If you tuned into my last show, together we learned about the Adoption Resource Exchange and all that it has to offer. Children who need a home and families wanting to adopt. For those who are interested in adopting, it might be helpful to get a little insight into what the family experience is like. With me in the studio today is a couple who knows exactly what it's like. Larry and Patricia Bumpus from Norwich, Connecticut have 5 biological children and 5 adopted children. Welcome to the show, Larry and Patricia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks for being here. So you've got an interesting situation. First of all, the thing that was interesting to me is, first of all, you blended a family.
We did.
Yeah.
You blended a family, and then you added more children on top of that.
Yes.
So before we get to understand a little bit more about how you did that, what it was like for you, I was interesting that you told me that it was an open adoption.
Correct.
What makes that different from a traditional adoption?
Well, with an open adoption, the children still have contact with their biological parents, and we set up an actual agreement where the agreement that we set up with the parents is they get to meet with their children 2 hours a month at a mutually agreed upon place or at our house.
Oh, interesting. Does that ever get in the way for you? Does it
No.
get in the way? It doesn't, really?
Not at all.
It contributes to the family?
Yes.
Definitely. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the advantages of it is we have the biological parents that we can contact with as far as any health issues. We can get the biological parents' history, whereas with a closed adoption, you could never have that. It would only be a guessing game for any problems the children have.
Not a thing.
But any advice for parents that want to adopt? Anything, do's or don'ts?
If the situation warrants, I would say to really give the biological parents a shot.
Yeah.
Just try to open your hearts and put yourself where they are. They're losing something.
Yeah. So
and
be
most of the
sympathetic to their
time, they
position.
feel that loss.
Well, thank you so much for coming in here.
Okay.
It was great having you in and talk about
Thank you,
adoption.
Bill.
Children's books provide great stories and wonderful moral lessons for our children to learn from. Coming up after the break, we'll meet a local author who has penned a children's book that contains a powerful and very unique message that you'll want to have for your child's bedside. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Discipline is more than just getting the kids to behave. It's also about creating the conditions that will help lead a child to the discovery of what he or she will become. A variation of the word discipline is the word disciple, meaning student or to teach. Therefore, to discipline means to teach a child, and not just teach him how to behave or clean his room, but to teach him how to become more peaceful so that he can hear the voice inside to eventually find his purpose in life on schedule. With me in the studio today is author Lisa Lavoie of Windsor Locks, Connecticut, who wrote a remarkable book that contributes to helping a child find his or her path. The title of the book is What Will I Be? And it's illustrated by Tom Lack. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming here. Now, it's interesting that when I first heard about your book, because it matches what I teach. It matches what I try to help parents with, understanding that it's not our job to tell a child what to do. It's not our job to point out what they're supposed to become. They have to do that. They have the amazing task to do that. So because this message is not that common, I'm interested to know what motivated you to write this book.
Well, it actually just started out as a simple gift to my unborn nieces. During my sister's baby shower, she was expecting twins and had asked everyone to bring a child's book to the shower. So being the first-time aunt, I decided I would write them a book. And when I sat down to do that, we didn't know their genders. So I thought, well, am I writing a book for boys or for girls or for both? And I simply asked myself, well, what are they going to be? And then the idea just rolled from there. And then, of course, I thought of that on a larger scale, like, you know, what are they going to become someday, and what great things are they going to do with their lives? And so that's basically how the book started.
Now, you have a little one yourself.
I do. I have a 3.5-year-old who has 2 dads. So whoever that they're closest with, they'll find in this book. And the other thing is there's hidden items within the pages that the smaller kids, you know, appreciate more than the older kids.
And it was beautifully illustrated
Yes,
by Tom Lack. He just did a great job. It's so colorful. Listen, I really thank you for coming in and sharing this with us. More people need to hear about this. They should be reading this to their children than some of the other books they are. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
According to the U.S. Department of Justice and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 3 to 4 women or girls are killed in this country every day by someone who said he loved her. Coming up after the break, you're going to learn how to identify signs your teen daughter may be in a dangerous relationship and what you can do about it. Stay with us through the break. Welcome back. I have to tell you that I was stunned to learn that 1 in 5 high school girls are physically or sexually hurt by a dating partner, and that many teens think that abuse in a relationship is normal. These statistics concern me personally, as I have 2 adult daughters, a 13-year-old stepdaughter at home and a 9-year-old granddaughter. Now, a frightening fact is that victims of teen dating violence often don't go to someone for help and live with it in silence. With me today is Annalisa Deal, youth advocate with the Network Against Domestic Abuse, and Rachel Walsh, family violence victim advocate, also with the network. Thanks for coming in the studio today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So this is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and you work at the Network Against Domestic Abuse, which is an incredibly important organization. What I really want to focus on is, because parents are watching, teachers are watching, what does teen dating violence look like? I mean, are we talking walking around with black eyes or what?
No, most likely, a lot of times in the beginning there's not going to be physical marks. I mean, it's a grooming process. A lot of times in the beginning of a relationship, it just starts off as they think everything, everything's fine. It's a new relationship a lot of times. And then you get into maybe he's walking her to class and then he meets her outside of the door. Or he's telling her that he doesn't like the sweater she wears, maybe she should wear different clothes. And eventually it can progressively lead to violence, but you could be in a relationship for 5 years that's just strictly verbal abuse, and that's just as bad as the physical abuse.
And understand what's important in raising children. In today's show, I taught you a powerful way of getting more cooperation by building the emotional bank account of each of your children as well as your spouse. Now, we met an adoptive couple who have opened their loving homes to children in need of one, and we got a glimpse into the world of adoption. We met a young woman who did what others only dream about doing, writing a children's book that will influence the lives of many children. We also increased our knowledge on teen dating, violence, and sexting to help keep our teens safe. I hope you will join me for future episodes of this program as I offer more and more tools to help you build the discipline toolbox as an awesome parent or teacher. If you'd like to get this program in your local viewing area, contact your local public access channel and find out how. Making the world a better place to live begins at home as parents. I'm Bill Corbett, and I'll see you next time on Creating Cooperative Kids.
With the light